Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and today I'm hanging out with Holly Conrad. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I was just like, I just tweeted, I was like, it's a little early for me here on
Yeah,
the West Coast. I get up usually like at like 9:30 because I have to let the chickens out, but I don't like get dressed,
yeah.
especially during these unique times.
Yeah, it's completely bizarre. Also, it's also weird to be hear somebody like, I gotta let the chickens out.
No, yeah. I know. Well, they needed to go. Well, every morning I let them out, but I was just saying that my one chicken has one leg, so she has to be supervised because it's dangerous for her to be out alone. So I let the two big chickens out, and then they just do their chicken things and look for bugs. And I also bring my pigeon Feathers out too. So he goes out, hangs out with everyone, and usually like once I do that, I like crawl back into bed for like 30 more minutes, and then I get ready.
Yeah. Well, you were saying too, you gotta be careful with the chickens because you've seen a hawk around.
Yeah, he's so mean. I think he's not a Harris. He's a Cooper's Hawk, one of the little stripy guys.
Yeah.
And they're not smart. Like he's not smart at all. He's very, very dumb because he keeps coming back and he can't get to my chickens. He keeps just
Mhm.
like, or my pigeons. He keeps trying, but I'll see him just sitting on the fence from my window because I can see him down there. And he's just he'll just be sitting there like, "What? There's food in there." And I'm like, "Sir, you're not gonna get it." You're not
He's
so
like, this is a drive-up window, isn't it?
I know, yeah. He and
I-
my one poor chicken just looks like a little nugget. She's got
yeah.
one leg, so she looks like a an injured animal. So I'm like, buddy, I get it, but you're not getting it.
It's persistent.
Yeah, very persistent, but not very smart.
Yeah. We get some pretty big hawks here, and I know the one day I had the dog out, and I was like, I saw it fly by. I was like, that's pretty big, and
Yeah,
also my dog was smaller then when we first got her. I was
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah, and that's like here, like we have bald eagles. So
yeah,
like I'll look outside and be like, that's a bald eagle flying over, like
oh no,
huge.
you can't even defend your chickens against the bald eagle
No, I mean
legally.
I'm hoping the bald eagle has enough water around because I'm right like on the like near the water everywhere around
Yeah.
here because it's Seattle. So like I'm like, dude, you got fish everywhere. Please don't attack my chickens.
So, folks, I don't know if you came to talk about D&D today or not, but anytime I have Holly on, I always talk about birds.
I mean, we could talk about D&D too. I haven't I have a home game, but I haven't done anything like that much. I think I did run a fun little like Chickenfoot Coven one shot a while ago, but that's pretty much been it.
What is a chicken foot coven?
So when we used to have, well, I guess it's still an AI. Like Strix has a pie shop,
Ah,
and the people that work at the pie shop are called the Chickenfoot Coven.
okay.
And so it's anyone who has like different characters can come through and like pretty much do like a wacky hijinks to learn how to make pies with Strix and get hired at the pie shop. So like we did a fun episode that I DM'd, and it's usually like when I DM, like when we used to do GCA, like I DM'd it, and it was just like a fun little like one shot. And so people learned how to make pies, but it was also like it went horribly wrong, and it was just super funny. So it's like a running theme, and it's still an AI. I think the last AI episode we did, that's not even true. I played AI twice and this year, so I keep like I feel like my brain blocks out things. I'm just like that
Yeah.
didn't happen. It did. um,
This year or last year, because we are in a new year.
I know, and yeah, it was last year. Yes, it was last year. But so we had an episode where everyone, Omen and Evelyn and Jim came to the pie shop and they fought a bunch of course, Jeremy had everyone fight a bunch of animated pies and weird stuff and like horrible things happened.
As you do.
Yeah. But that's because, we couldn't do actual, like the physical packs. So we've done two episodes that are packs online, like online exclusive ones.
Dave wants to know, does Strix know Tasha?
I don't see it. I didn't even when that book came out, I was hiding under a rock. So I don't even know what's in that book. I like maybe I don't think Strix. I mean, it's like a spell. I know it's. I know, like, I feel like Strix would know that Tasha's like there's spells named after this person, but she has probably no idea who they are. But I
Somebody,
don't. I don't have the book either, so I haven't even been to the game store because I've been inside, as we all have.
yeah, somebody please fan art Holly under the monster, a rock.
Oh, yeah, that was me. I was just Strix, just picture Strix under a rock, just like hissing, like, yeah.
So you said you're still playing in a home game?
Yeah, I've still been playing in a home game. And again, AI. So I've been doing AI stuff, which is super fun.
I as a player or GM?
For Acquisitions Inc., I'm just a player. So
Uh,
like that's just with Omen and Jim and having Jeremy DM. But in the home game, I've been a player, and I've also been a player in a couple different games. And I also played some BattleTech, which I'd never played before, and that was really fun. I actually
ooh,
never played that. I was like, oh, this is rad. Like I played like a buff Russian lady. It was awesome. It had a big mech. Because I never play like fighters, but I feel like in D&D, because I love magic so much, but in a game without magic, I was like, yeah, I just want to punch things.
what kind of mech did you have? I don't know that
Oh,
much about BattleTech, and I've never played it. I don't know if I owned like Robotech or BattleTech as an RPG as a kid.
I I think they are the same. I don't know. I have no idea. But I this was BattleTech, and the mech I piloted was like I think not a lancer, but it had a bird face. Like it looked like a bird. Like just like it looked like it had like a like one of those like it had like chicken legs and a big pointy face, and I can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
But
nice. Staying
yeah.
on brand though.
Yeah. I was just like, this one's cute. And they all have the little models and stuff. And I played that on Tabletop Simulator and physically. So I've gotten to do both, which is really fun. I've really enjoyed it. I've also been doing I did some writing for Humblewood. That's the other thing I did
Oh,
is I
cool.
did I did a little tiny like one shot adventure that you can, if you are part of their like Patreon, or I think it's part of their Kickstarter thing, you can download it. And it was actually free. No, yeah, they made it free. So if you want to download it, it's free. Um, it was about slimes and like undead things and a mage. It was very cool.
So Doug wants to know, we crowing hens looks like it's been a positive thing and growing. How's that experience been?
That's fun. Yeah, that's mostly I renamed all my channel, like not all of them, but my YouTube to that. I kind of just wanted something that was a little bit more like universal instead of just a name. I'm just like my name's boring, and I just didn't want it everywhere. So it's been fun. And I also been it's like mostly been a store stuff. Like I've been making my own clothing. So like this is one of our cardigans. So that's been fun. Like been making my own clothing line and working with Kayla, and Kayla's been coming up with cool designs, and it's mostly what's been keeping me going, other than like my few odd Acquisitions Inc. appearances in the Humblewood stuff. So
So so that's the stuff that's on your Etsy shop, right?
yeah, it's mostly my Etsy and YouTube, and I've been posting YouTube stuff, but it's kind of like I still haven't quite figured out like a cohesive brand, because I feel like I'm really bad at that. Because I'll just be like, I'm gonna make clothes. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna make this too. So and I'm gonna play D&D. And I've been thinking about doing more D&D stuff again because I miss it a lot. So I was thinking of doing like D&D crafting or something. And I'm just like, well, you're just gonna have to deal with this. This is where it is. It lives here.
Yeah. I don't know that you're bad at it. I just you do a lot of different things,
Yeah.
and figuring out how to manage all of that can be difficult.
Yeah. I mean, most of it, most my main job right now is just running my store, which is also called We Crowing Hens. So
Yeah,
it just all goes together.
yeah. I couldn't. I thought that was new and changed, but I couldn't remember, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It was I think before my store was called Trash Witch Coven. And
Uh,
so I changed it just because of like all of the DCA stuff going away, and it just made me sad. So I changed the name. It's like I still love playing Strix and everything, but I wanted to just have something new. So that's why, and I also love chicken, so it made me happy to name it after things that are chicken related. So it's still similar, just adjacent.
How often does your home game get together? Get
Um,
together. I imagine
yeah,
it's
yeah,
virtual.
it's yeah, of course. We try to do, I'd say like at least once a month, maybe twice, like if we can.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's been really fun. Um, we had like a big like storyline where everyone, oh, not everyone, but a lot of people were ceramorphosized. Yeah,
Ceramorphosized?
turned into mind flayers,
Okay.
and it was rough. It was real rough. It
I
was
hate
really
when that
rough.
happens.
Yeah, yeah. But I feel like we just got through that, and I was like so happy. So I'm really excited to play again because it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since some of the party wasn't a mind flayer.
Yeah. What are you playing in that game?
um, it's a secret.
Oh no.
It'll spoil what it is if I tell you, so it's a secret.
Oh no. Okay. So I play like a few games that are like monthly like
Yeah,
that in order to like, but so if you piece enough of those together, then you can like get people to the table regularly and still game regularly. That's been like my
yeah, yeah.
secret.
I have another home game. I have two. And
Yeah.
my friend Eric runs the other one, and it's been fun because like we did get in person a couple of times. Like we managed to, because it's like we have a few people in our, what is it called, like a team
Bubble.
quarantines. Yeah,
Bubble,
our
yeah.
bubble. So we got together like once, and then that was right before winter, and I play a Kenku in that one named Rain Falling, and that one's super fun. Um, but he like we all got to play, and then all of the cases went up again, and then we never got to play again.
Yeah. Someday. Maybe the end
Yeah.
of this year. Brian wants to know what's your favorite avian beast from a game setting.
Oh gosh. I mean, I love owl bears. I do love owl bears. Um, it's probably, I mean, I know that's really lame, but I've always loved owl bears even as a kid. Like I thought they were so cute.
It's a classic and it's
I know
kind of
they're so
still
cute.
it's on brand.
When we had like such, our little baby owl bear Waffles was so cute. Like I just
Yeah.
always imagined like a little baby owl bear. It's so cute. I love the Humblewood birds. I think they're amazing. Like all of their avian races are so cool. The Luma, they're little pigeons. So they're like little people pigeons. I think they're super cute. And there's chicken. Like all of them are amazing. Like if you haven't looked at them, the Humblewood birds are just so good.
Yeah, that Owl Knight made them $1 million, I
Yes.
think.
Oh my god. Riven? His name's Riven, I think.
Yeah.
He's, oh my god, so cute. Hurts my heart.
I know I talked to Crystal Sully and she had done some art for them. And when they reached out to her, she's looking at like the owl like going like have you seen this stuff I do? Are you sure? It's like, yeah, but we need things for them to fight.
No, yeah. But they're so cute.
Yeah. So Kenku or Aarakocra?
I think it's easier to play Aarakocra because they talk. Like it, unless you're just like, no, my Kenku talks. I'm sorry. Like it's
Yeah.
just like it's hard. Like because I was trying to play my rain falling Kenku, and I was like, this is hard but funny.
They're
Like it was,
very gimmicky, right?
yeah, it was funny, but it's like if you're, I feel like it could get annoying really fast.
Yeah.
And it's hard to have like any kind of emotional role play. So I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's harder, but I feel like if you could like give them an amulet or something so they talk, like that would be a lot easier because the Aarakocra I feel like are just a little bit easier to play, but they have that noble haughtiness about them. Just like,
Yeah.
yes, I'm so important and a large bird. That's how I played the one Aarakocra I played.
Do you remember Aarakocra from earlier editions?
No.
So in earlier editions, like they had their arms were the wings, right? Like kind of like
Yeah.
their hands were attached to the wings, and
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
they looked more like vultures, and they were just like nastier and dirtier looking.
Oh, weird. Yeah, and then they were just like, no, they're noble birds.
Yeah, I like the
When did
dirty.
that happen?
I
Like
like the
fourth
dirty version.
edition?
I don't
Yeah.
know if they did it in fifth or fourth. Now they're like these eagle guys.
Yeah. I feel like it was fourth because that's when they were also like tieflings are these noble children of Asmodeus, and I was like, all
Yeah.
right. I was like, I rolled on a table and it made me stinky, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like they used to like use their feet like hands
Yeah, I was like,
when they
yeah,
were
this.
flying.
I rolled on the table and it gave me like, yeah, armpit tentacles. Like it's like it wasn't very. It was very like random.
Oh, for 4E, there was a table.
No, for second edition.
Oh,
Yeah, second edition Tieflings had a table that you could roll on and in the Planescape books there was one, and there was a like you just get random traits, like you just get random Tiefling traits, like again like you're smelly, or like you have like black eyes or white eye. I don't even remember what a lot of them were, but they were all just like weird stuff.
it's on the internet someplace for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I only vaguely remember that stuff, but I that was the version I did kind of like better though. Like when they Azamars and Tieflings were just kind of plain touched, and it's just like I don't know. You had a pit fiend in the woodpile someplace, and
Yeah,
poof,
yeah.
a Tiefling pops out.
Yeah, I still like that. Like well, it's even interesting because I played the new Baldur's Gate game, which I love the old one. So like it was fun to play the new one.
Yeah.
But even then, you only had 3 options. Like it was like you could be like was it Asmodeus, the one like another lady that I remember we met in the game once. I can't remember her name, other fiend, and someone else. But I was like, there were no other options. It was like you got 3. You got 3 devils to choose from. So and Mephistopheles, demon. Devil. No, devil. Sorry. Yeah.
So what happened to your chicken's leg?
She was just born that way. Yeah, she was just born with a little like, so she has like one normal leg she's a silky, so it's huge. She has a huge little flat foot, and she's got one little like curled up leg.
Oh, okay.
So she was just born that way as a little baby chick.
Is that what attracted her to you?
Well, I used to go to they closed, unfortunately, probably one of COVID, who knows. And I used to go to this feed store to get food for my pigeons.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about getting chickens at the time. I was like, I'm going to get chickens at some point. Like, I want to. I have a coop, blah, blah, blah. And I went in there, and she was just there with her sibling. And I was like, oh my God, this chicken has one leg. Well, I'm just going to have to take it home. So I did. They gave her to me. They just gave her to me because they didn't want to like euthanize her or anything because she was fine. She was hopping around. So I think they just knew that I was going to take care of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's very sweet. Her name's Freya. She's wonderful.
Oh, nice. How long have you had the chickens?
Since like not this past August, but the August before that, I think. Well, no. Yes. I don't know. Time kind of like I lost a lot of time for the past like 2 years. Like, so
last year, like everybody has.
Yeah. So I know it was before 2020. So that says something.
Yeah. I don't think you had the chickens the last time we talked.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I don't think I did. When did we talk last? When was that?
It's been like 3 years.
Okay.
Well, I mean, other than seeing you at conventions or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's yeah.
So Brian wants to know biggest influence on your creativity in the fantasy realm. You've got like an academic background as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have a degree in medieval studies, which is just useless. Like, what are you supposed to do with that?
Play D&D.
Play D&D, yeah. Which is more or less like, I mean, I loved D&D and I loved writing, and that's why I got it, more or less. Yeah. And fantasy books. But I think like growing up, I read a lot of fantasy books. I loved Harry Potter growing up, and that I feel like that had a lot of influence on me. And I also, I mean, I played lots of video games. Like I played Return to Krondor when I was like 10 or some, probably younger. And I also played Baldur's Gate, and that's what got me into, and King's Quest. I played a ton of King's Quest, Quest for Glory, like all those games. I played those on PC as a kid. And so I think those, along with like Brian Froud and like the Dark Crystal, probably had the most influence on my art. I think is
Yeah.
just playing these weird video games and also like watching weird like puppet movies.
When things finally open up, are you excited to get back to hitting conventions and maybe doing some cosplay?
I'm scared, honestly. It's like I already have a lot of social anxiety,
Mm,
and I feel like I had already had to like build up a tolerance to be like, yes, I'm going to be okay. Yes, we could do this. And like, I got used to it. I got used to going to conventions and being around a lot of people. And now I feel like, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to happen. Like, I don't know
yeah.
how are all of us who naturally just want to hide under rocks going to go back into the world and like now be around people again. I just like I mean, it's weird because I loved it. Like I loved doing stage shows. I loved meeting people. I loved doing signings and stuff like that. And like, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever get to do that stuff again, but if I do, like I would love it. It's just I'll be a little scared.
I think it's like a band-aid. You just gotta like rip it off sometimes.
Right? Yeah. Well, and at least like we'll probably all still be wearing masks. We'll probably all still being careful until like probably years from now. So, as
Well,
depressing as that is.
yeah. Well, if you go full on cosplay too, you can kind of like hide in your cosplay a little bit.
That's true. Yeah. I've actually wanted to make like a Kenku cosplay. Like I have the beginnings of it just so that I could walk around and just like hide,
Yeah.
just like a little crow.
They're a lot of fun. Yeah. So yeah, if you were to pick something to cosplay, what would it be?
Um, I don't know. I've thought about this and I know I want to do like more. I know I've wanted to just make things for fun. Oh, okay, God forbid, to make things for fun. But I do want to make it like a Kenku costume. I have a
Yeah.
big like I have a base for like a crow mask, and I really just need to put it together. But or like just weird masks. I just want to make like weird, like not from anything, like just like creature masks just for fun. I think that'd be fun. But as far as like, I don't know. Like I know that if I had been like not under a rock, I totally would have loved the Tasha book. I probably would have wanted to cosplay that because I love
Yeah.
witches. So wouldn't have been too far off from Strix though if it's a witch. So
It's very witchy.
yeah,
So
but
Kenku,
clean. I'm bad at clean though. I don't think I would be able to make a clean costume.
no. So Kenku, that's a lot of feathers.
Yeah, I was gonna fake it. Like I have a whole so like I have like a mask base and I have a bunch of like long different kinds of black fur. And
Uh,
so if I mix that and I have a bunch of chicken feathers because the chickens. So I was gonna mix that and kind of like mix it together. There's a bunch of really amazing people that have made Kenku costumes and I use all of them for inspiration or bird costumes in general. So I think that would be really fun. And then I can just like run around and hide in a bird mask and that'd be great.
yeah. I mean, I always love seeing that stuff. I I always like would want to like I've talked about cosplaying. I don't actually want to make anything.
Yeah. I get that. I get that.
I try to convince it Ted we could be a team. He makes it, I'll wear it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like I've gotten to the point where like I'm just like, I don't know. It's hard. I feel like it's just because of 2020 and everything else. It's like, it's hard for me to motivate myself to make anything right now. And like,
Yeah.
my whole goal this year is to try and make art again. And I'm just like, eh. So making anything is hard. It's way harder than I feel like. So performative social media makes it look, especially like TikTok. Like I'll turn on TikTok and it's just like, here's me making this thing in 2 seconds. And I'm like, great. Well, why should I even try? Like, I'm like, you did it in 3 cuts. Like there's
Yeah.
3 cuts and you're done. Like now I feel bad about myself now.
Yeah. If only real life worked that way.
Right? Yeah.
Well, start small. Start
Yeah,
small.
exactly. Yeah. I've started making smaller things and then, who knows? We'll see. I don't know what I'm doing this year. I'm just going to try and make things and survive.
Yeah, I feel like that's a mood, right? We're all just kind of
Hmm.
figuring out, what's coming next.
Yeah, and everyone's like, it's better. It's a new. I'm like, it's not better. It's the same time. Like, just because like our New Year's happens doesn't mean it's gonna be any better. Like, I'm
it,
still scared.
it does feel a little bit like 2020 part 2 still.
Right? Yeah. I'm
That
like, I'm still scared. Like, come on, we got LARPers running around like in the Capitol. I'm still scared.
I feel like towards the end of this year, like the vaccines will start rolling out, people will start getting that in, and hopefully some of the crazier stuff will begin to fade away,
Yeah.
and then all of our LARP experiences will stay where they belong, in the woods, at campgrounds and campsites.
Yeah. 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 I am hoping that at least conventions can come back by the end of this year. That would be nice. I would love that. It would be nice to have some semblance of normalcy.
Yeah, I was talking with Peter Atkinson about that a little bit yesterday, and they're looking forward to getting Gen Con going again. Obviously, everything's got to be safe and everything,
Yeah.
and hoping, wishing it was fall a little bit later in the year, just
Yeah.
because, I mean, we were supposed to have our first convention last year, and obviously with everything going
Yeah. It's
on,
a
that
bad
didn't
timing.
happen.
Bad
You know,
timing. Yeah.
and it's been pushed to the end of this year, but who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
but
hopefully you can. Because everyone's like, I feel like we're all going to be clamoring to do things once we
oh
can
yeah,
have a vaccine and be okay to do them. So I know I will be. I really want to go somewhere, like anywhere. That's fine. It's like I've spent the last like 10 years of my life like traveling and going to conventions,
yeah.
and to have it so suddenly just disappear is like, oh my God, I am way too much in my head right now. Like, I'm not as busy as I usually am. This is bad. Like, and I think
What
that's all of us.
what convention would you be most excited to get back to
I
if
mean,
you
I
had
know
to
it's
choose one for the first one?
I know it's dumb, but I just PAX. I want to go back to PAX, even though it's like right down the street.
Yeah,
I just want to go back. I just want to have PAX again. That would be amazing. Any PAX, PAX Unplugged. I would love to go back to PAX Unplugged. Like I love Philadelphia. I think PAX Unplugged is super fun because it's all the D&D stuff and all the tabletop games and everything. So that would be great. I would love that.
yeah. I totally get like the local con kind of being like the one you want to go to, because it feels like your con, kind
Yeah.
of, because it's local. Fortunately for us, that is PAX Unplugged. So
Oh yeah. So you're right down the street.
yeah, I mean, Ted is like 15 minutes from the bridge,
Oh,
and I,
nice.
and I'm not much further away. So, for that one's pretty local for us.
Nice.
And that was a fun convention as well.
Yeah, I love that. Still, one of my favorite games I ever played, like of all time, was that PAX Unplugged live game where Chris was dressed as like a Sararak, I think.
Uh,
He wore his like outfit, and we had Mercy Killers appear. And that was just like the coolest, like scariest thing. He did like a voice changer. That was an amazing game. It was awesome. And we got to like see Sigil for the first time, which was just like the coolest thing for me to have Chris DM that. It was so cool.
was that the highest production level for a game that you had been in?
No, we did like, other than, I mean, Acquisitions Inc. is probably the highest because we get like the big models and all that stuff. But we
Yeah,
also did a live game for TwitchCon where we all had costumes, and Chris was done as Strahd, like with makeup, and it
yeah,
was like
yeah.
so scary and accurate. I couldn't even like look at him. I was like, I can't look at you. This is scary. Like it was really scary. It was so
That's
scary.
crazy.
Yeah, if you ever look up the pictures of him dressed as Strahd, it's like it's upsetting. It's like actually upsetting.
Talk about immersion.
Yeah, it was very immersive and upsetting. I was like, nope, don't. No.
But hopefully you guys got to defeat Strahd, and then
Well, we kind of did, sort of didn't. That's yeah.
typical Ravenloft.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we kind of did and sort of didn't. I think we might still be having problems with him. So
Then
We'll see.
you did not make it out of Ravenloft.
We made it out, I think, but maybe that's the maybe that's the reality is eventually we'll just find out we were there the whole time.
Oh no.
Or yeah, who knows? It's up to Chris.
Yeah, I am currently playing in Curse of Strahd, and it is the first official Wizards of the Coast adventure that I've actually played in.
Really?
Yeah, um since I was like a kid. Matter of fact, like one of the last adventures I might have actually played in might have been Ravenloft the first time around. Let's go
That's
back.
awesome.
Let's go back a few years. Yeah, we do a lot of like homebrew stuff in our games.
Yeah. I just love Chris's stuff. I love the stuff that Chris writes. It's so evil.
Yeah.
It's so scary. In fact, they for the big like Beetle and Grimm Strahd one, like Strahd box that they did,
Mhm.
they used my little puppet design from DCA. So when you get that big box, there's a little Mr. Shambleface Strahd puppet in it, and they sent me one. It's so good. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was hilarious when I saw that there were finger puppets in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's because Chris wanted them for sure.
Yeah. What is D&D without some finger puppets? Cody
Right?
wants to know what's worse about going to a con, the crowd or the schedule.
I don't mind. Like in the past, I didn't mind like either of those. Like the schedule was never that bad, and the crowd wasn't like it was fun. I really liked it. It's just like after the past 2 years, like I'm just like I don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to be a totally different experience, I think. But hopefully it'll be good. It'll just be different.
Yeah, I think it'll be better. And you know what? It's a lot harder to be mean to people in person. Like you
That's true.
you've got to be committed.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I've encountered that before actually, and it's wild that people won't do it. So I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
people should be. I don't think people should be mean at all, but it's definitely harder for them to be mean in person.
So hopefully with the return of conventions, there'll be some more normalcy there
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, for sure. I miss them. I miss going to conventions a lot. I miss doing shows a lot. I miss doing even like online D&D shows a lot. I miss being like a player, like on a consistent like just regular D&D like just where you play like 5th edition or something cuz I love being a player. But I
What
do
was
that's what I was thinking. I do another show. I do so many things and I'm just like remembering them cuz I know I guess I just don't even think about all the things that I've been doing. But I have a vampire show that I've been playing. That's the other game I've been playing is I've been doing a vampire show with Penny Arcade for their Patreon, and that's been really fun.
okay?
I'd never played vampire before, but it's super fun, and I play like a vampire wine mom.
That is
Yeah,
so good. So I guess what are they on, 5th edition now?
yeah. They add new books as well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Vampire
and it's
wine
fun.
mom.
Yeah, she's just like a Toreador who just like is from the Victorian days
Yeah,
and is just but she's like kind of mean. I don't know. I'm not good at playing mean characters, so now she's just morphed into this like goofy like kind of like just grandma character. So
yeah,
I can't be a mean vampire. I can't.
yeah.
It's too hard.
I imagine that'd be a challenge for you because I mean, kind of playing vampires like kind of about playing the monsters.
Yeah, and I'm just bad at it. It's like
Yeah,
I think though like it's she plays as a monster like Strix plays as a monster is like she's just sometimes like oops, there's a dead body. I guess we have to chop it up and to get rid of it. Like which is like callous but not like monster. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
she's not like actively hurting people. And of course in the group I think I have the highest humanity. I'm like, of course. So like it's easier for me to justify not being just a murderer.
yeah. And well, it gives you some room for a dark descent as well.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm see that I'm bad at it. I'm so
Yeah,
bad at it. But it's been fun and it's been a really good game. So I've been enjoying playing it. It's just vampires. I don't know anything about the lore. I don't know anything about like how to play it. So when I started it was all new.
yeah. How many sessions are you into that?
We've been playing for like 2 years.
Oh wow.
Like,
Okay.
yeah. So like we've been playing like every other Tuesday or every first Friday we were playing for like 2 years, and it's all on their YouTube channel. So if you want to watch it, it's called the Court of Cups. We own a coffee shop, and the whole point of my character is she wants to take over Starbucks
Uh-huh.
because it's in Seattle, so it's like in Ballard, and so it takes place like around here, and it's just really funny. And again, like my monstrous thing for my character is she just like wants to take over. We haunted the Starbucks across the street that opened to close it so that our coffee shop could still do okay.
To me, that sounds like you're actually a hero.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I honestly like. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Starbucks.
It's
I've
not good. I mean, it's fast food. It's like you get it when you know what you're going to get and you know that it's not good.
like I would prefer Dunkin' Donuts over Starbucks, and I prefer Wawa over Dunkin' Donuts. If only Wawa had a drive-through.
Yeah, we don't have either of those. I mean, I've seen like one Dunkin' Donuts here, maybe. Like one.
It was driven off by Starbucks.
I mean,
So
yeah.
you're fighting the real monster, really.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, capitalism. My
Yeah,
vampire is fighting capitalism. So,
yeah. Also,
everyone wins.
well, also too, like I think Starbucks, like the corporation, buys up like smaller mom and pop shop coffee houses
Yeah,
and doesn't turn them into Starbucks, just keeps them as they are.
they
But
do,
it's
yeah.
but it's still just run by Starbucks. So yeah,
Mhm.
like that's the real insidious monster there.
Right? Yeah. So my vampire maintains an independent shop.
You're doing the good work.
Yeah.
What
But
was
yeah, it's a fun game. I enjoy it. It's been fun. So,
what was the last convention you made it to before the end times?
well, I was obviously I didn't when was it? Okay, so it wasn't 2020. I was supposed to go to PAX um in 2019, and that didn't happen either. So like because all my stuff blew up in 2019, and so all of my conventions were canceled after that. And so like I didn't get to go in 2019 or 2020. So like I haven't been to a convention since before the middle of 2019.
Yeah, I
So
think
before I
2019, the end of the year, I made it to Gamehole Con. I think that was the last one because I think that was
oh that's
after.
that's that's you snuck in one
Yeah, that was
while the virus was spreading unbeknownst to the rest
yeah,
of us.
yeah. That was like I guess that was after PAX Unplugged. Was
Yeah,
Gamehole Con, and it was like the con where I actually got to do the most like con stuff because
that's
like
fun.
a lot of times we go as nerdarchy, so we're like
You
it's
have to
all
work.
about
Yeah,
like networking and meeting people and drinking afterwards and hanging out with internet friends.
that's fun. Yeah, I wish I'd snuck in like a PAX East because I know the last one they did was PAX East,
Yeah.
and it's like, ugh. I think that was in March of 2020. It was like the very or February. It was like the very last one. So I was talking to like friends about it. I was like, oh, there was one last one before everything locked down.
So Gatorbait, I like that name. Who was the first D&D character you made?
I always played a tiefling sorcerer. So I've always played a tiefling sorcerer even when I started. I don't remember what their name was honestly because I think it was something. I don't know. I don't remember, but it was one of the names I used for like everything else, like just one of those random
Yeah.
internet names you always used as a kid. So I think it was a tiefling sorcerer, but I played like different iterations of the same tiefling sorcerer until I finally like got to Strix, and I always played a sorcerer, so like or a mage. And I think technically the first character I would have made probably would have been in Baldur's Gate, like on the computer, so it wouldn't have been a pen and paper character.
So my first character was like when I was like a teenager, when when I started, and I recently did the D&D tag with a couple other people at the same time,
Yeah.
and like they had these like really deep meaningful characters, and I was just like, oh, my first character was Derek Woodstalker, some kind of elf fighter druid, like
Yeah.
nothing deep at all, just like, I don't know, I thought these things were cool.
Yeah, that's no, that's all. That's I mean that's like I feel like that's kind of something that is a little bit of a disservice that a lot of the actual play shows have done is like sometimes you can just make a character because you think things are cool. Like you don't have to like overthink it and be like, what's my story arc? It's like, no, you can just make it because it's cool. Just have fun. You don't
Well,
need to stress out.
and also when I started playing, it was like you would show like the game started like at the dungeon door, right? And it was like a lot of dungeon delving, and you would like go into a room and there would be six kobolds playing cards or throwing dice, and down the hall from the room with two skeletons, and then
Yeah.
a troll three
Right.
doors down. Why?
Why not? It's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just having fun.
It was it was a little bit different back then.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, like I wanted to be a sorcerer because I just wanted magic. Like
yeah,
I just wanted to throw. I literally wanted to throw fireballs. Like that's what I wanted. Because when I was a little kid, I really little, like middle school, I wrote a book. I wrote a book as you do in middle school. You know, I mean, it was it was the length of a book, but that doesn't quantity versus quality. But my best friend and I in middle school wrote a fantasy book, and it was about like dragons fighting UFOs and like sci-fi people, like dragons fighting and like magic versus sci-fi. It was really fun, and we loved doing it, writing it as a kid. But I had made a character in that book that pretty much just threw fireballs, and that's I think where we were more or less playing D&D and we didn't know we were playing D&D because we were writing a book. So we would sit there and come
yeah.
up with these scenarios and these like things that were going to happen to the characters, and then we would write them and then send them to each other and read them. So we were more or less playing each other's D&D games, but it's like a forum post, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that's really what got me into doing all of this sort of stuff, was because that's, gosh, we were in middle school. So we were in like 5th grade. So yeah, we just didn't like have the books or D&D stuff or anything like that. We just used what we had.
What edition did you start with?
I started with 3 point, well, technically whatever Baldur's Gate was, which I think it was 3rd. It was either 3rd or 3. I played the most 3.5 like as a kid, like in high school. But by now, like I've played way more 5th edition. But yeah, I read all of the Planescape books. So like I read a ton of 2nd edition, but never played it. So I never got to play 2nd edition, but I still experienced like Thaco, or however you say it, and all that in Baldur's Gate, because like that didn't make any sense to me. Because I would put on armor and it's like it's negative, and I'm like, all right, guess that's a rule.
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry, it still doesn't make sense to any of us either.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got to at least experience those things, but I still by now like I'm much more familiar with playing 5th.
It's odd when I run into like an old gamer and they're like, I miss Thaco. I'm like, why?
You don't.
It's
you missed the feeling of playing a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm like, no. The only thing cool about Thaco was like in Dragon Magazine, there was a wheel that you could get that you had to assemble, and like you move it around, it was like a magic artifact, and it would tell you what your numbers meant, whether you hit or not. That was like the only cool thing about Thaco.
Yeah, that's true. But I just knew it as a number in the Baldur's Gate game, or if I put armor on my character, it went down to negative.
Yeah, there's a lot of agreement in the chat that Thaco still does not make sense. It never will.
Yeah.
That was the best thing that they did with 3rd edition, is like roll high, good. Just simplified things.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So, are there any other RPGs that you want to play that you haven't had the chance to play yet, or any RPG goals for 2021?
Yeah. And I've still really been wanting to run like maybe even stream a Humblewood game.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it helps too that I've been doing some writing for them. So like I gotten a good chance to like learn more about the world. And in a sense, it's like not stressful.
Yeah.
So like I get to just read it and just be like, oh yeah. So I have all of the books and stuff like that. And I would love to just run people through even the little module that I made. I would love to just like have a game. And I want to bring some friends back. Like I miss my friend Chad. I want to see if he wants to come back and play. Like people that were in trapped in the birdcage.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun playing with all of them. And I just think it would be fun just to DM a game again on stream. But it's like I feel like the hardest thing is I need to find a way to like just make it work. It's so hard.
Just do it. Just play. Just play. Don't look at the chat.
Yeah.
Have one of your friends moderate the chat, and they can fix it for you as you go.
Yeah.
And don't worry about it.
Yeah. I just get stressed because I care way too much what everyone else thinks. So
Yeah. I
my
mean, I
whole thing
think.
is I'm just like, I just want to make everyone happy. Oh, I can't? Okay, goodbye. Like
Yeah.
so I'm working on it though. I'm working on that. And I think that this year is going to be a better year for that sort of stuff. But I would love to run a Humblewood game because I think it's just such a charming world and so cute. I love the characters, and it plays with fifth edition rules, so it's like I don't have to learn a new rule set, which is really nice. Even though
Yeah.
like I don't mind learning a new rule set. Now I know vampires, so I could run that, but I know nothing. Like I hate it when I know nothing about the lore and I have to start from scratch. Because it's so hard if you're going to be like the GM or whatever, because you just want to be like, I want to get it all right. But then it becomes like an epic research project, you know?
So yeah. Sometimes the lore is much more overwhelming than the actual rules.
Yeah. And I think I just don't like being, I just think scared of like vampires in the real world. Like, I'm like, things are already bad. Like, to think that there's
Yeah.
vampires out here, like, no, I just want some cute birds selling me like honey on the street corner as a as a role play, not like vampires coming after me.
Well, I feel the same way about like when people want to play like grimdark settings.
Yeah.
I'm like, ugh, the real world's grimdark enough. Let me do. I'd rather do something more fantastical and silly.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's where my creativity goes to. Because again, like I love like Dark Crystal and that kind of stuff, and it goes to that like whimsical, but there's still some darkness that like ultimately like good versus evil like sort of things. I like that.
yeah, a kid says Pugmire is super simple and it's built off 5e. I think was it Pugmire that I looked at, and it's like it comes in a box, and that box is heavy, like
Really?
dense. One of our friends had brought it by, and it's like it looks it looks like it looks like kind of like a cutesy kind of game, and then it's really dense. Or maybe I'm thinking about another one that kind of came out around the same time, but it's like cute animals.
Oh, are you talking about a tabletop game?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, because there's a couple
RPG.
board games like traditional board games that look.
Nah, it's an RPG, and it's just like so. Is there one that looks like the Ringwald world, but it's
Oh, you
not.
mean are you talking about the little mice and stuff?
Yes, that mouse
Yeah, is
guard.
Mouse Guard. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna
That's
say,
what
I
I was
think it's,
thinking of, not
yeah,
Pugmire. That's the
yeah,
one of our friends brought over, and like the box is just like so dense.
yeah. I know. I've seen that too. I'm like, this is intimidating. This is large for
Yeah.
such a small thing. Oh yeah,
So
in your chat, Brian said Root. I was thinking of Root. Root was the one that I saw at the game store before everything like locked down. I was like, oh, that looks cute, little animals. That's just a box game, a tabletop game.
yeah, that's like. But you is that where you build like the world kind of?
I think so. I never got to play it. I just saw it and was like,
Yeah.
this is cute. And then like I was like, oh, we can't do anything anymore. Cool, great.
I've got.
But yeah, I love Humblewood. Maybe I'll run a Humblewood game. I'll either run another Humblewood game or another Planescape game one day. Like I love both of those.
Oh, Planescape is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was what my Trapped in the Birdcage one was, and it was super fun. And I know the lore I'm very comfortable with, so like I'm less scared to run that kind of game. But I don't know.
I feel like anytime you run stuff like that, you just got to be like disclaimer. This is my alternate reality version of said thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, because it's also very dense.
yeah. Uh, so someone mentioned, I think it was Dave mentioned Dark Crystal RPG. I didn't know they were coming out with one.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's awesome.
So that would be a lot of fun. Again, very iconic, and that's like I grew up in the '80s, so I love that stuff.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And did you watch the new episodes? Oh my God, they were so
Yeah,
good.
they were
They were
so
so
good,
good.
and they ran out too fast.
I know. And then they were like, we might bring it back. And they're like, we're not. And I'm like, no, this is, ugh.
It was probably super expensive to
I'm
put
sure
together.
it was like the amount of detail that went into it was just wild. Like I loved it. I thought it was amazing. So if you haven't seen it, you should definitely watch it.
Yeah, and also it's like there's a lot of movies from the '80s that I try and like inflict upon my children,
Yeah.
and they just don't hold up as much as
Yeah.
I want them to. They just don't. Folks,
Yeah.
don't go back for the most part. But that movie does. Like Dark Crystal holds up, Labyrinth holds up.
Yeah,
Like
because they're fun and they're cool and like they're
puppets.
yeah, well it's like that suspension of disbelief. You don't even like the puppets are cool. You don't have to like think that they're real. I feel like
Yeah,
that's what the problem is like something like I'm thinking like Willow, where like some of the like CG and stuff just doesn't hold up because you're like, oh, you could
yeah,
tell it's not real.
yeah.
But like the puppets in like Labyrinth, they're timeless because they're not trying to make them into a real animal. They're like, no, no, these are puppets.
Yeah. There's no mistaking
Yeah.
it for anything but a puppet.
Yeah, these are puppets. While they look real with that like Brian Froud sense, like
Yeah.
they like they're puppets.
So Gator wants to know if you have a favorite dice set.
Yeah, I have a couple actually. Where's it? My friend just got me a new one, because I have this rule still
Yeah.
that I can't use dice that I buy. So that's really so that I don't buy a ton of dice. It's just, let me see. I'll see if I can show you this one.
So generally,
I have some really cool. Oh, where'd they go? Oh, there they are. Yeah. So I have. I keep everything back here. So whenever I play Strix, I have this little box Wormwood made me with the little Strix symbol on it, and I think that was the last convention I ever got to play her at, which was awesome. I mean, until conventions come back, maybe I'll get to come back again. And then I have I think these are the obsidian dice from Level Up. So I have the inside the case, I have the obsidian dice, but I also have dice that Ritual Cast made, who's a friend of my friend Wes, and they have actual moss in them. So they have like moss and like gold in the dice, and they're so cool. So, and she made them as like specific Strix dice, so they're really cool.
So that makes me think of one of the conversations I was kind of like privy to one of the times when I was at Gen Con. I think it was during like the Atkinson party.
Yeah.
It was like Alex Gygax and then Alex from Level Up?
Yes. Yeah.
We're talking about Gygax blood infused dice, about putting his blood in dice.
Whoa.
Yeah, a little weird. I feel like it's more of a vampire kind of feel, but
yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, you could put anything in them. It's resin, so really, you could put whatever you wanted.
I might be a little biased,
or fortunately,
but I have Nerdarchy dice here, made by Norse Foundry. We get a lot of our dice from Easy Roller, but these actually, have our logo on all of the dice.
Oh, that's awesome!
And they're the aircraft aluminum dice.
Oh yeah, those ones feel really nice. I've gotten to hold them before.
They're super light. Like they feel like they weigh like what normal dice weigh.
Right.
So you won't break your table, and you can roll them. And they still feel they feel good in your hand. I'm in the basement, so they're like ice cold.
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I actually went on a whole, like, for my shop, my Wee Crowing Hen shop, I went on a whole adventure I wanted to make mood dice. I wanted to make color changing dice. I did
Yeah.
it. I made mood dice and I sold like half of them so far, but I was like, I'm just gonna make them. I just gonna see if I can find a factory who will make me mood dice.
Uh-huh.
And they came out really, really good, but they're very fragile
I
because
know.
like
Are they
they have
stone?
to no, they're metal, but they have to be their facets have to be hand done to
Mm.
get the mood paint in them. So more or less you have to use one of the soft rolly things for them because they're just really fragile. Like the facets are fragile, but they came out super, super cool. But I have like a little disclaimer that I send out and I'm like, please roll this on a soft surface because
Oh
it was an
yeah.
experiment. And they're very fragile. But they're neat. They're super cool because you can hold them and they do change color, which is awesome.
Well, it's like the die that in the holiday pack that Watts sent out, the D20. It's like what is it? It's like a is it a jewelry company, Strowski or
Oh,
something like
really?
that? I don't even know what it is. Like my wife knew what it was, but I'm
That's
like, how,
funny.
you can't roll this.
No. They just sent you something. They were like, you can't roll this.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you should roll this anyway. This has to go like on a shelf or something.
Right.
And then my wife and Ted battled it out over who got the die.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Ted is definitely a math rock hoarder. He's a hoarder of many things, but particularly. And my wife is also a bit of a hoarder. It's a long line of hoarders on that family.
Yeah. Yeah, I only saw pictures of their I think I saw that one. I think it was like shiny, like blue. Was that the blue one they sent? It was like all just covered in crystals.
Yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
I did think about it. I was like, I don't think people can roll this.
Yeah, Dan Dillon's in the chat, Swarovski
Okay,
crystal.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what I said. I looked at it, like, I don't even know anything about Swarovski.
Yeah.
But I was like, that doesn't look like something that should be rolled.
No, that'll just fall off. Like from my short dice making adventure that I just wanted to see if a factory could make mood dice because I had like a dream about it. I was like, this would be cool.
Yeah.
It's like one of those manic, like this should be done. They are fragile. Anything you stick on those facets, unless you're rolling on one of those soft little things, it's not gonna work.
We were I was talking when I had Adam Bradford on, we were talking about Bluetooth dice where like
the ones that blink.
No dice that'll connect to your computer. So when
gosh.
you roll them, then like your dice will show up on your D&D Beyond character sheet.
Oh my gosh.
As the the D&D Beyond dice, but like a physical version.
That's too far. We've gone too far. The snake has eaten its own tail at this point. We must go back. We must go back.
Never. So I do like being able to roll the dice on my character sheet.
Yeah,
they need more special dice though.
I have a book that like when I play, I write all my notes in, and it's a leather book, and it has a little unfolding leather thing. So I use that as my little dice tray, and then I use all the dice and I have other dice like these one. If they misbehave, I literally have a whole trash can of dice.
Yeah.
Over here, just in case. I think this is my trash can of dice, just in case.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Just in case.
I got my satchel of dice.
Yeah.
That's why it's like hard. Like it's hard for me to pick like a favorite because I just like pick up dice all the time, and then like I don't do anything special with them. I just all throw them all in like the same sack.
Yeah.
And then like in the before times when we play in person, I would just like dump it out like the cornucopia of dice.
Yeah.
And then I would just like sort them.
Well, and I feel like when I was DMing like in person in the before times, like I just needed a bunch. I was like, just give me a bunch. Like I don't care. I don't care where they come from. I just need a bunch of them. Like I don't care what colors they are. I just need to use them. But now, like when I play, I have to use my specific dice, like for specific characters. Like I have the Strix dice, and I have dice for my bird characters, my Kenku characters, or my Aarakocra characters, which are the only other characters I play other than Strix. They're all birds. So
yeah, I can't do that because I'm terrible at rolling dice, and if I got stuck with one set of dice,
Well, that's why I have the
for
trash can. If
character.
one misbehaves, I have to go get a new one because
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes that happens.
Because I just have these piles of all these different dice, and it's like as I roll them, they start getting sorted out into the bad dice pile.
They do. Oh yeah, I have. Yeah, you have to make sure that you are
Discipline
using the
your
ones
dice.
that feel good. Yeah, because if they don't feel good, you don't want to. I don't know. It's a not like spiritual, but it's a very intuition based. It's an
Yeah.
intuition based hobby.
Could be spiritual. I mean, it just
Yeah.
depends, you know.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, we are up on the hour mark, and it's time for us to head out. Final thoughts before we do?
Yeah, just thank you for having me. It's nice to I haven't done anything like this in a really long time, and so it's nice to just be able to just sit and chat about D&D. I miss playing a lot. I love it. But hopefully this year I'll get to do some more fun stuff and make some art, which I promised myself.
Just do it. Make yourself happy.
And maybe we'll see each other at a convention one day.
Can only hope someday it will happen. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. I've always enjoyed our chats and interactions and bumping into you at the different conventions.
Yeah.
So until next time, everyone, stay nerdy.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Bye. I'm still waiting.